This is the only job market that I've been in where you can go to a town hall and not know that the hiring manager is leading the town hall. That you can exceed in both the first interview and the second interview, so much so that they tell you you have a final interview at the end of your second interview. And then during your third interview, they tell you that you made them think about completely different perspectives through your presentation and have really good conversations through your third interview and still not get the job.
I'm an American. I live in the United States, which is supposed to be the greatest country on earth. I live in the back half of a garage. It's $1,600 a month and only 200 square feet. That's more than half my income. I'm an American. The United States has the world's largest economy. That being said, it still has thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of its citizens living on the streets, hungry and poor and without medical care. The last time I went to the emergency room, it cost me $12,000. I'm an American. A college education isn't free here, and mine cost $120,000. It took me 10 years to pay that off. I'm an American. You're not going to get a good paying career anymore. A college education no longer amounts for anything. You're going to get a minimum wage job to start off, no matter what degree you have, and you're going to be paying off your interest and your loans for the rest of your life. Our corporate CEOs are millionaires and billionaires, and yet they refuse to pay their employees a livable wage because they know we'll work it anyway. I'm an American. Despite being the land of opportunities, we're the #1 country for mass shootings. I'm an American. I couldn't afford a child, and who would want to have one here anyway? School shootings happen all the time, and nobody seems to care. I will never be able to afford my own house. I'm an American. I've never been out of this country. I've never been on vacation. Our tax dollars secretly fund wars that we don't agree to. If you leave this country, you still have to pay taxes to the USA. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just the average American.
So I have been unemployed since April. It is now mid to end August, so I'm looking at 5 months of unemployment. I live in Canada. I have 2 diplomas and a degree. Meanwhile, my sister, who barely has her high school diploma, moved back to Poland and was able to find work within 1 month. I'm trying to not let this get the best of me. But as you can see, I've been upset for a while. Send me positive vibes or just lie to me that everything is gonna be okay, because I'm just not feeling it.
Do not leave your job. Do not leave your job, no matter how unhappy it makes you, no matter how stressed out you are, no matter how horrible your boss is, no matter how little you enjoy it. Don't quit. Don't quit. Play it safe. Be practical. Keep sacrificing your own fulfillment for that job. So many people have done it before you. How dare you consider having anything different?
Do you see how crazy that sounds? Guys,
do not be too obsessed with making a living at the expense of living a life. That's all.
Whenever I see a post about how bad the job market is right now and how hard it is to get a job, I'll see people in the comments saying, oh, I've been looking for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, some people a year plus, and saying they haven't found a job. So how are you paying your bills? Because I know that DoorDash and all those little side hustles you can do is not enough to pay rent and also pay a car payment, insurance, phone, like all the bills that we have. There's just no way. If you're getting unemployment, that's one thing, but do you guys just have savings saved up? Because even with savings, I don't know anyone that has more than like 3 months saved up. Most Americans don't even have more than a check saved up. Like, we're living paycheck to paycheck. So I've always wondered when I see those comments of people saying they've been looking for months and months and they haven't found a job, but they still have their apartment, they still have, everything seems to be fine from the outside looking in. So I'm just wondering what the tea is.
My family of five's expenses are $7,000 a month, and we don't live a life of luxury. We have a 9-year-old and 2 4-year-olds, and we also have 2 dogs. So let me break down the expenses for you. We've owned our home since 2014, and we live in Utah. So here's everything: our mortgage, our home equity line of credit, which we use to consolidate debt. We have a Subaru loan. The loan is for $35,000, but we can only sell it probably for $30,000. So we're gonna try and get as much as we can out of it. We have a van. We have like $6,000 on the loan, so I'm hoping that we can keep that. And then we have our auto insurance, our cell phone bill, we have our utilities, and our Google Fiber internet, gas for our cars, food, dog food, and life insurance. So that adds up to $6,457. And if we sell the van and if we sell the Subaru, get something for cash, I would take down our auto insurance, $100 a month. That would be $5,556. I didn't even include any like medical co-pays, deductibles, any vet bills, any lessons or extracurricular classes, any school fees, hobbies, babysitting, any gifts, holidays, savings, vehicle maintenance, registration, house maintenance, clothing, concerts, eating out. So that's just the bare bones. And we have a really great interest rate. If you're thinking that $7,000 is a lot for a family of 5, I want to see how much you spend for your family, what state you're in. I think it's a lot, but that's how much everything is. Everything's just getting more and more expensive. I'd love for you to share your numbers in the comments.
Living in America in 2025 feels like you're trying to breathe while someone's hand is over your mouth. And they're charging you rent for it. As soon as you get paid, it's gone. You buy groceries and the bags are lighter. You fill your tank and the needle mocks you. Food's up, rent's up, insurance, utilities, coffee. I mean, even your damn toothpaste is up. Everything's up. Except the paycheck. Oh, and everything's also smaller. Shrinkflation? Yeah, that's the way they rob you while smiling in your face. You're not imagining it. The box is smaller. The portions are skimpier. The price is higher, and you're supposed to eat it with a smile. This isn't bad budgeting. This isn't laziness. This is a rigged game where everyone at the top profits and everyone at the bottom is a slave. We're getting taxed, drained, and blamed every step of the way. If you feel it too, you're not crazy. You're just living in America in 2025. Living in America is exhausting. You wake up tired. You go to work tired. You come home, barely surviving. Go to sleep. Wake up, go to work, come home, and you're still fucking broke. Every single month, rent's due. Rent is through the roof. Groceries are double what they used to be just 2 years ago. You go to the gas pump to fill up your car and it's like you paid another car note. Everything, and I mean everything, is up in price. But your paycheck, still the same. And once inflation gets done with it, it's probably even a little less. Yet somehow, they keep telling us, just budget a little bit more. Just work a little bit harder. Like, I'm sorry, how many jobs do I need now? 4? 5? 7? That's not living. That's barely surviving.
I'm about to lose it. This weekend I applied for 21 jobs. 21 jobs. I'm unemployed, okay? I've applied for corporate things, remote things not around me, and even minimum wage things because I need some income coming in right now, locally. The 2 jobs that I've heard back from so far, one of them I was declined from. Guess which one I was declined from already? Whole Foods. Whole Foods coffee bar. I can't even get a job at a Whole Foods coffee bar. What is happening? Seriously. Like, minimum wage. That was the last. I was like, at least I will be able to do that. Like, so I can get some money. Whole Foods. What is happening? I need a job. I've been applying for so long. Why is this so hard? On a scale of 1 to 20, how many do you think I'll get an interview for? And how many do you think I'll even hear back from? Let's actually drop your guesses, because next video I'm going to show all of the jobs that I've applied for over the course of the past 9 months now, maybe even more. I'm sick of this.
It takes 500 applications right now to land one offer. I graduated 17 years ago from a pretty good school. I worked at some of the top consulting firms. I have all of my updated credentials and certifications, and I have never experienced anything like it. And I've worked and lived through multiple recessions over the past 17 years. And I cannot explain how all the old ways of doing things are just not working. LinkedIn, Indeed, all of those platforms used to work so well for me. I actually used to have recruiters chasing me down, especially if I had recent recommendations, recent certifications, experiences that were at really good corporations, and it's just none of that is helping. I've also tried the referral route. Out of all the jobs I've applied to, I've had 17 high-level referrals, and when I mean high level, I mean director, VP. I don't just know somebody, I know someone that's been there for a long time, and they're high in the organization, and I've still only landed 4 interviews, and I didn't land any offers yet. It is extremely challenging, and unless you've been unemployed in the last 6 months, I don't know if you can fully wrap your head around it. At first, I was oh, it's the election season, because it was the end of October when I got cut in a RIF. And then I was oh, it's the holidays, it's just bad timing. And then it was the new year, and I was okay, the election is over, I'm ready to move forward. And then things just seem to be more and more challenging. Anyway, I met with the CEO of a new company called Use Massive. And essentially it uses AI to help find all of the jobs that are out there for you and apply for you. And essentially the idea is it takes a ton of applications that are a good fit for you to land interviews and get the offer, and doing it manually just seems insane. It hasn't been working for me to date. So I'm really excited to be trying it and experimenting with it. Again, I can't imagine how I would actually physically apply to 500 jobs that were a good fit. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
Can't be the only person who feels like this. So I'm 30 years old. I am unemployed. I've been unemployed for 4 months. I literally can't get a job. I've applied to over 150 jobs. I now have negative $4.41 in my savings account because of the monthly service fee that just hit. I don't know when I'm going to get a job. I feel very lost. This feeling of being unemployed and applying to jobs and retailing your resume, getting rejected, and then seeing the job reposted literally 2 weeks later is demoralizing. And remembering that I am still worthy and I am still valuable has been very difficult. I left my last job because it was destroying my mental and physical health. I liked the job, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I applied to a new job, and I was going to make the most money I was ever supposed to make in my life. And they laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start due to company reorganization. And I haven't been able to find a job since. I don't have a Roth IRA. I don't have any type of investment accounts. I don't know if I'll ever own a house. I am married, but we're both children, to be quite honest with you. I live in an apartment that we can no longer afford because I lost my job, moved down here for the job that laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start. So when you sign a lease, you just can't get out of it like that. That's not how that works.
So on today's episode of How Fucked Am I, me and my husband are both unemployed. I am by choice. I'm a stay-at-home mom to twins who are under the age of 5. So daycare would cost more than what I would even make. He was laid off. He was in the tech industry. He was laid off about 3 months ago, and he hasn't had any bite. We have a mortgage, and we have debt, and we have bills to pay. We're trying to figure out, how are we going to survive in this system? But do we even want to survive in this system? And we don't want to fucking pay taxes to genocide. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to send our kids to school to get unalived. We don't want to send them to school to learn about bullshit systems that aren't even going to help them. The American dream is dead. What are we getting out of it? We're renting our life from banks and insurance companies and the healthcare industry. So do I just sell the house? Do we just try and get as much equity as we can? Just go find a visa somewhere? Hopefully somewhere will take us. Do we, we're just starting over. I feel like I'm a child. I feel like I'm starting all over from the beginning again. finding out a new career path. I was a lash artist since 2012, and it's like I can't charge people $90 for a fill. Like, who's going to pay that in this economy? It's just like, do we just buy a trailer and go live off the land? I don't know anymore. Like, I'm fucking crashing out.
And another thing about being unemployed, I don't get a break. You know what I'm saying? It's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like that, it doesn't end. The job search, the applying is never ending. I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, okay, it's Friday, I'll take a little break, Saturday, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I'm not applying to jobs. That means that, okay, maybe my sense of urgency is at 85% versus during the week, it's 100. You know what I mean? So I'm literally like, the mental aspect of it is always there. It never leaves me. It's never not on my mind. And I hate that. I hate it so much. I just feel like, how do I get past this? Well, actually, I know, like, obviously you get a fucking job, but you know what I'm saying? How do I get past the point of like, job, hey, on my mind, you know? It's just fucking exhausting. And I just, I'm still here. I'm trying not to lose my mind. And I mean, I'm there, obviously. I'm sitting in my car talking to myself, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, that's all. Have a good day.
This cost of living crisis is really costing the living being me. Everything is so expensive. The way bills have risen is out of hand. And then there's unexpected emergencies and unexpected costs that still happen because that's what adulthood looks like. I'm at capacity. I'm literally choosing between my mental health or paying all my bills. And paying my bills is winning because I need to stay alive. It's too much.
What happens when we just can't afford to exist anymore? Everything's high. Rent's high. Food's high. Utilities high as hell. But your paycheck, that's the one thing that ain't moved since Obama had a fresh lineup. And now folks are just surviving out of habit. Barely. But here's the question that nobody in power really wants to answer. What happens when most people can't afford to make it anymore? Not just a few people, but most people. When survival becomes a luxury, right? Then what? What becomes of this whole society at that point? And I say that because people can only take so much. When you're working 2 jobs and you're still choosing between groceries and gas, something's got to change. Because it changes you. You stop dreaming. You stop living. You literally just exist to pay bills. And eventually people snap. And history has already shown us that. This system only works if enough of us still believe in it. What happens when your belief runs out before the money does? What do we do when we're working harder, but that no longer works? Because if a majority can't afford to live, then this whole thing, it ain't sustainable.
Stressed out. Like, this has never happened to me before. Like, I've always had a job. Like, I was an honor student, like 3rd in my class, so successful in high school and college. And I have a bachelor's degree in poli-sci. I have 2 years of experience in mental health. I'm a great worker. I'm so organized, but nobody will even give me an interview. And I was crying on the phone with my mom because I was like, what if I literally can't find a job? Like, I've been applying for months. Like, I literally can't find anything. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I just gonna live with my parents for the rest of my life? Because, like, I'm not kidding you, I literally cannot get an interview anywhere. And I have applied to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs in the past few months. I literally don't know what to do. Like, I'm genuinely so scared. Like, I really am terrified. Like, I don't know what is happening in the world right now, but like, I am a good candidate. I don't know what's happening.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this.
You should have stopped years ago, but continue.
I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done.
So here we are, in the midst of the consequences of our own actions. Got it. Continue.
This is what I get.
Yes.
This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a 1-day job. I might have fucked up.
You might have fucked up? No, you 100% fucked up. But the sad and horrible thing is that you only think you fucked up because it's directly affecting you. You don't care about the millions of other people that it's affecting in the United States. This is 100% what you get when you ignore that he's a felon. When you ignore when he said, grab her by the you-know-what. When you ignore that he is liable for sexual assault. When you ignore that he has done scams and he says racist, horrible, homophobic things. This is what you get. Because the racism was there in his language all the time. You could hear him speak his racism every single day, and you chose to ignore it. So yeah, this is what you have to deal with. And it doesn't matter which race we're talking about. Donald Trump only wants white people in this country, and you ignored that.
Assistance now that Trump's elected. So Trump proposed cutting funding for a few key government programs that help people with things like healthcare, food assistance, housing, and disability benefits. The idea behind it is to reduce government spending and encourage people to rely less on aid. Programs like Medicaid, food stamps, or SNAP, and housing would help get less funding. There's also proposals that add work requirements. Basically, people would need to be working or looking for work to get some of these benefits. The thought is that this would help people become more self-sufficient. Now, people have different opinions on this. Some think these cuts are necessary to reduce the national debt and limit the amount of people depending on the government support, but others are concerned that cutting these programs could hurt families who really rely on them, like people with kids, seniors, or those with disabilities. It's a big debate about how we balance government spending with supporting people in need.
I have a genuine question for Trump supporters, and I'm not trying to turn it into any other sort of discourse. I specifically want to talk about this specific thing. If he takes away the Department of Education, which he said he was going to do, you realize, or maybe you don't, do you realize that that means that children with disabilities who receive services for anything like an IEP, speech therapy, OT, you realize that that's going to go away, right? Did you vote for him knowing that? Knowing how many disabled children this is going to impact? I have a class of very medically complex students who are going to be fucked if the Department of Education goes away. And I just can't think in good conscience that people would actively vote against those kids getting support that they deserve.
One of my favorite things to do in my free time is to look at Twitter threads of Republicans arguing with Grok. Check this out. It begins here with this user saying, "Hey Grok, how much money will the U.S. lose in payroll taxes and Social Security due to Trump's purge of undocumented labor?" It responds with, "Undocumented workers contribute $26 billion annually to Social Security via payroll taxes, per ITEP and SSA data. But very few receive benefits. A full purge would mean a similar yearly loss, exacerbating Social Security's projected 2035 insolvency by reducing inflows without cutting payouts. Diverse analyses agree on net negative impact, though scale is debated." Then this genius comes in here saying, "Grok, okay, compare that to how much they cost us in financial aid programs for the one that don't work and are cheating the system." Grok says undocumented immigrants contribute $66 billion annually in federal taxes, including $24 billion to Social Security without drawing benefits. Mass deportation could lose $300 billion or more in revenue over 10 years, plus $860 billion enforcement costs. Going on to say that welfare costs us $12 billion a year, mostly via U.S.-born kids. Undocumented immigrants are ineligible for most of the aid. State and local are $10 billion a year, mainly through education and health. Therefore, their tax contributions far exceed aid costs. This is what they don't want you to understand. Undocumented immigrants are not draining the system, they're propping it up. The real 1% that we need to worry about are the billionaires. They are destroying our system.
Documented immigrant labor contributed $25 billion to Social Security, and Trump wants to deport them. Got it. Seriously, deporting our economy, they pay billions into Social Security and Medicare, and I'm talking about undocumented immigrants. So 48% of our agricultural labor force is immigrants. I think for the military, immigration makes up 45,000.
Immigrants are the foundation of this country, and they are propping up Social Security. And if Trump actually cared about Social Security, he'd be celebrating immigrants, not criminalizing them.